for tonight, we're going on Esha's Kitchen. We're going to be making something fairly simple, and also for those on a budget, it's budget friendly as well. So we're going to be doing a creamy ground beef and green bean skillet dish. We're also going to be adding some macaroni noodles since I had them in the house. But, you know, you ever have those nights where you get off work and you really don't know what to cook? So you go looking in the fridge, see what you've got, and then you go to your freezer, and then you look in the pantry and you're like, you know, I think I could make a little something out of what we've got. So for this, you're going to do 1 pound of ground beef. You're going to cook it all up. We're going to let it get a little brown, and then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of onions with some garlic as well to give it some flavoring. And then once that's fully cooked, we'll get the grease drained out, but I'm just getting ahead of myself right now with all that. So let's just go ahead and get the ground beef all cooked up here. I do have it on medium-high heat. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper as well. And if you like, you could add some chili powder, taco seasoning. That's up to you. Season it how you like. Probably put some onion powder or garlic powder. I think towards the end we'll do some garlic powder. And this will also be a little bit on the low-cal diet, but with the macaroni in it, it will not be keto. And I didn't put any butter or anything with the macaroni. I just cooked up the macaroni ahead of time, so that way there's not as long to wait for it to cook. Alright, let's go ahead and add the onions and the garlic in here. Like I said, it's about a 1/2 cup of onion chopped. And you don't have to add garlic if you don't want it. I just like garlic, so I went ahead and added some in. It's your preference. Add whatever you like. This is, you know, just a little helper, but hopefully it takes about 20 minutes to cook overall. That way you're also not cooking all night on a weeknight. I'm just trying to make it somewhat easy. And the green beans I'm using were actually frozen green beans, but I'll be honest, I went ahead and cooked them ahead of time, along with the macaroni. So that way it doesn't take as long to cook. Just good and stir it up here real quick. There's a lot of grease, so like I said, we'll go ahead and drain out the grease here in a minute. when I see that the ground beef is all browned up. And this will serve about 2 to 3 people. So if you have a bigger family, you can always add more. But since I'm just cooking for one, just decided to make it, a little bit smaller. Alright, we'll give it another minute, and then we'll go ahead and drain this off. And at the same time, I'm also going to lower the temperature just down to low, because we just want to simmer the rest of this. So, alright, time to go drain it. Be right back. Alright, we got the ground beef all drained up with the chopped onions. So what we're going to do next is go ahead and add our cream of mushroom soup. Just have some HEB cream of mushroom condensed soup. So we're going to go ahead and add this in, and that'll give us the creamy texture that we're looking for. Since it's condensed, it just plops right out of the can. Make sure you get all of it out. I'm going to stir that up. And then you also want to add the green peas right about now too. So let me go ahead and get those for us. And this is 1 bag of cut green beans. I said peas, sorry, it is green beans. Like I said, they were frozen, but I went ahead and steamed them ahead of time. So that way we can just put them in here and help to make it go a little bit quicker. Give that a good stir. And then from here, you probably want to put some salt and pepper. This is also where I'm going to add a little bit of the garlic powder as well. I'm just going to add a smidge. Nothing fancy. Like I said, I like garlic, so it's your choice. And I'm using the sea salt from the sea salt grinder. Put as much salt as you like. And here's where the choice of peppers is. You can just use normal black pepper. I'm going to use the peppercorn medley. That way it gives a little bit more of a spice to it as well. And if that's not enough, you can always add some red chili flakes on top too. So with this, you want to do about 5 to 7 minutes. Just get it good and stirred in. This is also where you can add the macaroni if you like, which I will go ahead and do that now, because after this we'll be adding some cheese. So we're just going to add a little bit of macaroni, another bunch. enough. There we go. Looks like I cooked a little too much of that when I cooked it all up, but that's okay. We'll use that for another recipe later on. And I've got this down low, so that way it doesn't, you know, overcook the soup or anything. We're just trying to give it some extra flavoring. Stir it up just a little bit more here. And if you want, you can taste it, decide if you want to add any more salt and pepper or any other spices to it. Like I said, you can always add chili powder, taco seasoning probably would work, or some chili flakes on top. All that's up to you. And then from here, we're going to sprinkle it all with some shredded cheese. And if you want, you could also do some like beef broth or even some sour cream before you want to serve it. So that would probably be pretty good too. But let me go ahead and put some shredded cheese on here. I just did some mild cheddar from my local grocery store, H-E-B. Put as much as you like. If you watch my previous videos, you know I like a lot of cheese. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and put a top on this and let it get good and melted. So we'll let that sit there as it gets melted. Then we'll stir it up here when I see it start getting a little more melted. Might want to crank it up just a smidge while you're trying to melt the cheese. And this is just something, like I said, kind of simple. Make it easier to make on a weeknight. And buy all the ingredients ahead of time. You can actually cook them all ahead of time too. Put them in the fridge and just come back and reheat them later on if you like. So maybe do a meal prep on a Sunday. And this will easily, I mean, it says 2 to 3 servings or whatever. I'm pretty sure you could probably get more than 2 or 3 servings, depending how much you want to put. Probably 4. You know, just cut it in fourths. Alright, let me stir this up just a little bit here. And you get the cheese all throughout. And you know it's ready when all the cheese is fully melted, so you got a little bit more to go. Then if you want to reheat it, just stick it in the microwave for a minute or two. Should be good to go then. We'll keep the top on I'd say another 2 minutes, and I think it'll probably be done. That's one nice thing about using a gas stove too. Make sure you keep that centered. And you can make this without the pasta. Tonight I decided to make it with pasta. All right, see what we got. Ooh, there we go. This is like it's all melted up. All right. I believe this is ready. I'm going to serve it in a bowl to make it a little bit easier for me to eat up. But first things first, turn off the heat. And I've just got a white bowl, nothing fancy. Probably use a smaller bowl, but that's okay. All right, 3 should do me. All right, well, thanks for watching. This is once again, it was a creamy ground beef with green beans and some macaroni. And stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.